course, this is my first day, and I can tell you already, the tears been tearing. I've been getting so many messages to bundled and to let go of people and things that do not serve me. And the other one is just about abundance, okay? Especially when it comes to men, because it just made me think about the way I've accepted, like, people, I mean, being okay to use my body, but not okay to love me. All right, so I am about to literally walk out the door and head to the Maloka. So tonight, first night of the ceremony, I am excited. Sure, I'm nervous because of the unknown, but I am open to whatever, and no phones, no electronics. So I'm going to try to update you tomorrow, depending on how I feel, and we'll see how it goes. Also, we had a class earlier in the day. I can't remember what it was, but it was like preparing you for it. And I remember the teacher Ty saying how you're gonna wanna leave. You're gonna say, what the fuck I'm into and all this stuff. And I'm like, that's not gonna be me. I am all about my healing. I am running towards the chaos. I'm running towards trying to get better. There is no way that I'm gonna be the type of person that wants to leave. I am ready to heal. I am ready to get my life together. So yeah, I was lying because I was absolutely ready to go. And it really was about me telling the truth and not just me lying, saying that everything is good, everything is fine, because that's a lie. Everything is not always great. Everything is not always good. And the thing that I do, because I'm not going to say everybody else, the thing I do is I lie to myself. And I had to be truthful and say that I'm a liar. And that's crazy to even say on here in my admittance, whether I'm lying to someone else or lying to myself, is the truth is I lie. So those are a couple of the videos that I recorded while I was at Rythmia. So once again, if you see me looking to the side, which is going to be this side, and I'm recording sideways, so I want to look at me, but I need to make sure I'm looking at the camera. So I'm going to try to record all of this in one take, but I also know me. Before I get into anything, I just want you to understand that this is my journey. I am not trying to harm anyone that people may think that I'm talking about and have no idea. It's just, this is about my experience. There will be no specific names mentioned. Of course, if I mention my dad or mention the teachers or a particular shaman or something. But as far as when I'm talking about different experiences in my life and people want to try to guess, please just don't, because more than likely you'll get it wrong anyway. Just here to express my experience at Rythmia. So I'm gonna be looking a lot to the side because I want to make sure I don't forget anything. So I wrote so many notes to prepare myself for today, and as many classes as I've gone through to teach me how to properly look at a camera and training and stuff like that. Forget about it. So first things first, this is my Rythmia notebook. I really loved it. I'm gonna just kind of show you. I took so many notes. I'm a note taker, okay? And then I have my actual journal that I bought just for Rythmia things. So I started journaling in it before, and my handwriting is just kind of all over the place because I was just writing. I did not write during ceremony, but I did write before. Tried to write after, but the schedule is tight. I have a tight schedule, so I didn't have as much time. And I also wrote notes on my phone. I have no spread out. Anyways, so a couple different things about Rythmia. It has a full medical team. That's one of the main reasons I wanted to go. I wanted to take psychedelics in a safe place, so that's why I chose Rythmia. Another thing, so depending on when you arrive, Saturday or Sunday, you'll either have 1 or 2 breathwork classes before you start the ceremonies on Monday. So if you arrive on Saturday, more than likely you will have breath work that night and breath work on Sunday. If you arrive Sunday, then you have breath work just on Sunday. And then you'll have it again. I love breath work. I had some experiences that happened there, some cramping and stuff. But I want to have my breath work video be completely separate. I just want to focus on talking about that breathwork class and the other ones that I had later on in the week. So I'll make that separate. With the schedule, it's a pretty set schedule depending on who the guest is. Like, you have activities every single day. One thing they really encourage is to go to everything, no matter how exhausted you is. Just show up. Even if you just lay on the floor, just show up. I am so happy to say that I did show up to everything. Yoga, I don't yoga, but I yogaed every day, and it was absolutely great. And I was so happy that I was able to do it. I realized I'm talking fast, and for what? Let me deep breaths and slow it down. It's like, I don't want to waste anyone's time, but if you're taking the opportunity to sit here and listen, you're here to listen to me, I'm hoping, and just to learn more about my Rythmia / Ayahuasca experience. And I sit and watch people video for hours because I really want to hear what they have to say. So let me chill. All right, so they also tell us that we can cry wherever. Like, if you want to cry in yoga, you want to cry at the pool, if you want to cry in class, cry wherever. And trust me, I did a lot of crying. I cried in breathwork. I cried after breathwork. So I cried a lot. Intro to plant medicine is really great. They talk about things that you might expect. They talk about how you throw up, like you do it on all fours. They give you a demonstration. Goes over the type of purgings that can happen, which is what most people are kind of scared of when it comes to ayahuasca. That comes up. I've read so many articles and they talk about how the nausea is a bad side effect. It's not. God, if you're doing your research, do a lot of research. Actually, don't just go off people that write these articles or different medical professionals that are just against it and don't really know about it. Go find videos like this of people that actually went through it and tell you their experience. Because most people tell you that they expect that part. Okay, so the 4 types of purging body. So there's going to be throwing up, pooping, sweating, yawning, laughing, crying. I did all of those. Then next we have Penta, which is going to be visuals if you start seeing the sacred geometry. Did that. Consult is when those visuals start talking back to you, getting different downloads, messages. Did that. Now, nada is the one I think a lot of people just wanted to have, and it did not happen in our group, which is you take that first cup, you go back to your bed, end up falling asleep, and then you wake up, and it's over. So they say that's when some deep healing occurs, and it's a beautiful thing, but it's very rare. I think it's like 1 in 75. We had about 37 people in our group. No one had a nada. Okay, so next, just a few things that they talked about in class that will come up probably for me later on, which is why I wanted to bring it up. That's why I took notes. So the fight or flight said would kick in, and I was just like, that's not gonna be me. I am here to heal, baby. Like, fight or flight, not me. I am ready for this. I remember writing in all of my journals about how I'm so open, I'm so ready, this is what I want to do. I've been healing for a long time and still going. I want to go deeper. So I was very open. The monkey mind will show up, and it's not going to want you to drink. So they say don't think, drink. If you can hear it and you can walk to it, just go. So don't think, drink. You're not going to want to, but do what you need. And that brings me to what they really mention. Everybody comes with their laundry list of different things that they want to do or accomplish, and you realize the medicine is going to do what it's going to do. It's going to heal by priority. Things that you don't realize that you need to work on. It's going to go off of what you need, not what you want. And something that's you think is a need is particularly could be a want, but it's going to heal in the priority of what needs to happen. And which take me back to the different types of purging when they say this is just it can happen either way, but this is just something they say if you throw up, then that could be emotional purging. If you poop, that could be physical, but it could go either way. And then another one is if you see sacred geometry, that could particularly be the healing of generations, because they do say that it heals 7 generations forward, 7 generations back. So keep that kind of in mind too. But visuals also like metaphors, messages. When you're gonna meet a lot of people, so you're gonna start like really caring for those people, and you're gonna want to help. But when you're in ceremony, send them love. You hear them going through it, and you do hear your friends going through it. You just send them love. Mind your own business. You're there for you. Focus on you. That is one thing they say is focus on you. That's why you're there. Give me a second. I feel like this is just so bright. You know, I'm doing all of this as is because, yeah, that's just how I feel. I want to do this. That's a little better for me. Okay. Okay. After drinking, they recommend going back to your mattress and sitting up for about 20 minutes. Like just meditate, do some deep breathing, let the medicine flow down, let it work. We'll get into that. And I spoke about all of that. We're going to get into the 3 intentions. A lot of people come in with a lot of different intentions of the thing they want to work. But I feel like Jerry and the Mrs. Moon, Ayahuasca, all of them come together and they created these 3 intentions that I think are beautiful and very helpful. And they, no matter what intention that you may want, it's going to bring you back. These 3 intentions are going to bring you back to whatever intention you had in mind. Which is the first one is show me who I've become. Second one, merge me back with my soul. And the last one, heal my heart. Some of the things that happened during breath work on the first night, it felt like my heart was on its way. But we'll get into the healing of my heart. Cheese and crackers, I tell you what, don't be silly. Okay. All right. Also, while we're going through it, when things arise and we're trying to figure out what's going on during the ceremony, there's 4 questions to ask. And I love the fact that they have them on the wall. I hope I edit this to where I have some pictures I can put in. But also, we're talking about me. And I probably won't. So, all right. 4 questions. How does this make me feel? Do I feel this way in my regular life? When was the first time I remember feeling this way? Who have that made me become? I realized as I was writing in my journal before, and I've been doing this for a couple of weeks before, even before I know this was a thing, I really just been trying to go deeper into why I feel certain things, especially when emotions come up. Like I get rageful sometimes, just full of rage. Doesn't mean I'm going to go out and break stuff, but I do, and I'll ask myself, so why am I feeling like this? Like for real? Like, why did this person make me feel rage? Where is that coming from? So I've been working to go deeper prior to even getting here. So I thought that was pretty awesome that it really aligned with what I've already been doing. Every week there's a guest speaker or someone there. We had Caesar Milan. Everybody knows the dog whisperer. He is a gem, like so funny. I loved him in class. I loved him in ceremony. He's just super, super amazing. So before the first night of ceremony, because of, I can't even remember his name, but it's the guy, the influencer that I posted in the caption of the last video. He said he did his Desi cleanse, which is a hydrocolonics, prior to first night and the last night of the medicine, and that's what I did. I was like, this is great. It's gonna help get me out. I ain't gonna have to poop as much. Medicine be working regardless, but I did do my cleanse right before. So I'm gonna be right back, and then we're gonna get into the first night and going deeper. I changed my angle. Okay, I'm still trying to figure all of this out. So yeah. All right, so let's get into night 1 introduction. So what you wear, they really just recommend light colors. You're in Costa Rica, it's humid. I mean, like, I stepped off the plane and I was sweating, and I rethought everything that I brought. Even though I brought like Floyd pants, I really don't wear a lot of shorts. I got big thighs, they get around that. So I would just say light colors. I wore a lot of purple and beige. The first night I wore yellow, which you see me going into in the previous video. When I was in the clip, she said I wore yellow that night. And then the last night was only night I wore white. Kind of got that idea from JK Ultra. I kind of like that as the colors get lighter. But it's your thing. A lot of people wore white the whole night. I had great ideas to buy like packs of just plain white shirts. They're going to get messed up. The all-white outfit didn't even make it back to Costa Rica. It was so disgusting during the last night of doing Yahe. So, and I couldn't stand the smell by that time. But anyways, okay. So we entered the Maloka, beautiful space. They already have it like smoked out with, what are they using? I can't even think right now, but they have it smoked out. Like, I'm sure it's some type of sage and different things that they have, you know, really like cleansing that energy. You have your mattress, a pillow, blanket, your bucket at the foot of the mattress, and then like everybody has their own roll of tissue. All the men on one side, all the women on one side. So you find, you know, wherever it calls to you, that's where you go sit. And there's plenty of restrooms. I mentioned this before, plenty of restrooms. So you don't have to worry about it. There was never a time that I needed to go to the restroom and it was busy. Plenty of restrooms. You enter about 5:30. You have like a little talk time for about 30 minutes. And then it ends about 1 to 2-ish in the morning. It just depends on the energy of the room. Depends on the shaman. They can feel the energy. They know what's best working with the spiritual team. And which all nights had, I believe, two shamans. And then the last night, the Yahe, there was only one. And I'm trying to think of what else. Spiritual team, it's kind of, I think they base how many people they're going to have on a spiritual team that's helping on the crowd. Like I said, we had about 35, 37 people, so it's a very small one. I think it can get up to 90-something people. I'm very thankful that we had a small group. It was very intimate, very beautiful. We had about 12, 13 different people helping, part of the spiritual team. It was really, really great. So when you get in, just start talking about my experience. So as soon as I get in, and, you know, I found my spot, we go up to, they bring everybody to the middle. So that way you can sit where I think there's like a lead shaman, then like a shaman that's helping. And she was talking to us. And all I know is I see someone that immediately triggered me. Just saying the person triggered me. It was a guy. And the reason why this type of thing happens to me is I like attractive spiritual people. So attractive spiritual men, for some reason, for me, not some reason, another reason now, being around them, I see them in this great light and like they're above me or better than me, and I immediately start to be small. So I can actually see myself sitting there, person not paying attention to me, but just because I see somebody that is considered attractive to me and spiritual, I start to like hunch over even more. I can see myself doing it, and I have to like do this, but I'm like, Vivian, what the hell? So instead of me like acknowledging this, I'm like, I see that it's happening. I'm gonna just throw it away. We're gonna pretend and just ignore, like everything is fine. And for a lot of people, that is really good. That is something that I've done, but I can tell you right now that is really not a great thing to do. So I'm having this triggering things happen as I'm trying to listen to the shaman. Have this person that is in my peripheral, and I'm just like, I just don't understand. This is annoying more than anything. I'm annoyed. So after that, we go back to the bed. We're in noble silence, so there's no talking. The only people that might talk is like the people part of the spiritual team. They're maneuvering things, so fine. Otherwise, you don't talk to each other. It's time to focus on self. And they pray. I love when they pray over the medicine. I love the music. I love the energy. I love the chanting. It feels deep. It feels with your soul, with the earth. I love it so much. I wish like I could have just had just them doing that thing to where I can listen to it whenever I'm just feeling kind of out of it. So they do their thing. They also, just so you know, they call for 2 cups throughout the night. Have your first cup, about an hour and a half, they wait for the second cup. After that, they do not call for cup anymore. Is you can go up and ask for it, but they ask you to wait 30-40 minutes in between cups. We want to give the medicine actual time to work. So they call for the first cup. I get my cup. I don't even think, no, I don't. It's around. Now where the heck I put it, it's probably still packed up somewhere. But I don't have my cup. It's a little cup. It's like a little shot glass. I put a picture of it, but it's a little shot glass. So I go up there and I'm in line and I'm like, I feel myself getting into my anxious, you know, I've had panic attacks and anxiety attacks. So I'm doing my breathing. I've done breath work for a while. I know what that is like to do even before getting to Rythmia. So I'm doing all this breathing and I'm here. You know, I do not go to the line with the gentleman. I go to the line with the lady. I just did. I don't even know if that was a preference, but I just did. So I take it, you know, they pray over it again. God, I feel like I am having, as I'm talking about this, I feel like I'm going right back into it. Yeah, so I just had a moment, and then I'm having it, and I do it, and I swallow. Oh, baby, I just felt it in my, my throat. It is someone, I asked what it tastes like, and one of my friends there said it tastes like bitter earth, and that's a beautiful description, but it cannot be described. Cannot be described. I don't think there's anything that tastes like it, that feels like it. It coats your mouth. You cannot drink water either. So, but you can take like your water bottle. It's not really a water bottle. And then you can take it, switch around and spit out in your bucket. I didn't do that. This is my first time. I'm like, I got this. And so I I sit up at my mattress and I cross my legs and I'm just like, I'm gonna breathe through this for what I feel like it's 20-30 minutes before I lay down. I'm really trying to follow everything that they told us to do. And you feel it. It is like, excuse me, it goes down and it expands in your body somehow kind of way. So I do that. Feel it going in. After a while, I'm just like, it is so quiet. Like nothing is happening. Nobody's doing anything. Everybody's just kind of in their own quiet meditative state. And I'm just like, I think we've been duped. I think this does not work. I'm like, this is a scam. I'm just like, what the hell? It's too quiet. I'm just way too quiet. When I finally decide to lay down, my mind just starts to become a little chaotic. And I'm just thinking this is normal me overthinking, normal me. Just my mind goes a million miles an hour all the time. And I overthink everything. If I ain't overthinking, am I even thinking? That's how I used to be. And I am a worst case scenario kind of person. So all this stuff's happening, but I'm thinking that it's just, normal me. And I start to feel sick, but I'm like, nobody is throwing up. So I'm not throwing up. I'm not going to be the first one to throw up. Y'all got me messed up. And so I'm super nauseous. And I just finally lay down. I'm like, this is terrible. Like, I'm just feeling terrible, not good. And I start to dread the second cup because I hated the taste. And I think that one of the things with me throwing up is that I didn't want to taste it again. I didn't want to taste it again, especially not coming out from when it's been in my stomach, out my throat. Who likes to throw up? And so I just did not want to do that. And I just started to dread that second cup, and I could feel that it was time. And I feel like as soon as I thought that, there's like, we're not, like they start getting up, doing the thing with the medicine, and then they say it's now time for the second cup. I'm like, great. But I'm like, forget it. I get up like really quickly. I'm like, I'm gonna just get this over with, because let's just get this over with. When you go there, they ask you if you've purged, which I hadn't, but I'm like, I gotta go to the bathroom after this. Like, she probably need to know all that. And then they ask you if you have visuals, no visuals. So I get my cup, they pray over again, and I'm just like, terrible. I go to the bathroom, which is just number one. Even though I start to feel it in my stomach, it starts to gurgle, but nothing comes out. So I go back to my mattress and I do my sit-up thing again. And listen, not too much longer after the second cup, that's when I started to hear everybody purging. That's when throwing up galore. Just everything start going, what? And you know it's crazy. I mean, it didn't bother me to hear people throwing up. Like, it didn't. It was just like, okay, throwing up. It just felt like the most natural reaction. And so it was like, they throwing up, cool. I mean, I'm not going to, more power to them. Like, once again, my mind, which was like my ego, started to argue with my heart. So my ego and my heart, they started going at it. Let me go through my notes again. So yeah, they really was starting to go at it. My ego, my mind, my monkey mind was like, we're not throwing up. Why we do that? We're gonna look crazy. People are gonna think like we're weird, even though like there's people throwing up around me. But this is how my mind works. It don't make sense sometimes. You think our mind always has the logic, but it's just trying to protect us from whatever fears that we have built up in ourselves. My fear is not other people's fear. Other people's fear is not my fear. So yeah, it's just like, no, we don't want to do that. We're going to look silly. What about this attractive spiritual person? You don't want to see, you don't want him to see you throw up like that, girl. And my heart is just so kind and being like, we need to throw up. We should get this out of us. Like, we need to throw up. And I feel like this is happening for hours. And so what happens when I feel uncomfortable, when my close friends know this is something for me, I feel like I've been judged for it. But that's, once again, the way I feel other people are doing to me, that is internal things. I'll get to that. But I kind of judge because I distance myself and I wrap myself away. And that's what I do with my blanket. When I started to feel these emotions get crazy, I wrap myself with my blanket in a cocoon, and I'm just trying to disappear, hide from any uncomfortable feelings, hide from anything outside of that blanket. I wish I could have wrapped myself up and hide myself away from my head and my heart, because that was driving me crazy. And so they argued. And I say argue, my heart was being so gentle and stuff. And I just was so tired. I was laying on the mattress, I remember, on my right side. And I just, I just out of nowhere, I didn't think anything about it, but it just yelled to them, it's my body. Because I'm like, they're arguing over what to do with my body. Now, mind you, they're both have everything to do with me. But they're just like, you're arguing over what to do with my body. And as soon as I say that, my mind got quiet. I've never had a mind that quiet before. And I said, it's my body. Like, this is my mind. And I immediately start to break down. Like, I broke down. I just started weeping. And immediately, all of these different feelings of not having control over my body came to me, which in the previous video, especially like with men over the years of my life, from the first time I had sex, it's just, you know, I've made choices, but sometimes I just feel like that's not, like, some of the men have just wanted my body and not wanted to love me. So, but like, many images started to come in my head, which I wouldn't consider these visuals, but they were memories. So memories come up a lot. And a few, 5 different things that came up throughout the night. First thing of not having control of my body is grief in my mother's womb. And so what it was I found out a couple years ago that my mom was grieving when she was about to have me, like a month before I came into this world. Her dad passed away, so my grandfather passed away. And of course, that's hard. You know, I lost my dad at 17, so to grieve, especially when you're about to bring life in the world, that's heavy. And we take on energies of others. So imagine being a child where you're getting all your nutrients and everything in life from your mother, and you're also getting this grief. So I worked through that part a lot. A lot of the things I thought I worked through came up tonight. Child, that's why I said the ayahuasca, it'll surprise you. She will surprise you. Because stuff that I thought I had healed from, they came. So that was the first thing. Next was just like getting spankings. I used to think that was normal because that's how I grew up. You know, I unfortunately spanked my child, the first one. And as he got older, I really, as I started to learn a little bit more, I realized how I just don't believe in that. I don't, reading All About Love by Bell Hooks, I don't believe in spanking children. It is like in the book, it's really interesting how we can say like a man or a woman beating on another man or a woman is wrong. But when we hit on a child to teach them respect and responsibility is okay, when a child definitely can't defend themselves from a big old adult. Like, make it make sense. But another story. So that's again, and also like, and when I was a kid back in the early 90s, late 80s, it was okay for parents to give school systems the ability to spank with a wooden paddle. So I got spankings there too, and it's like I have no say so over what gets done to my body. So I'm learning these things at a very young age. Next thing that came up was after my dad passed, having to go back to school very soon. And I'm still grieving. I was dropped into this memory of 17-year-old Vivian that was in English class. I remember the pencil. I don't know why the pencil's in my hand over here. I'm not left-handed. I have the pencil in my hand and just tears down my face and trying to teach me an English lesson. And I'm just thinking, I just want my dad. I'm here in this class. And all I want is my dad. Like, I don't understand why I'm being forced to be here, be in this school system to learn English when I just lost my dad. But, so yeah, that came up for me. And then, second, apologies. So after that, the next thing I remember, not having control over my body is the lack of, no control. So I was in a physically abusive relationship, and once again, not having any control. He controlled a lot of things in that relationship. And, going through these, and I did ask myself who I become, especially from that relationship, I became more of a control freak of being controlling over finance and being controlling over this, being control over that. But in turn, that forced me to give more, and I stopped really learning how to receive love from others, especially men. So yeah, physically abusive. And then other things were, they say when you're married and things, and that you have to give yourself up to your man. And in times when I didn't want to, I did. So that was something that I knew had weighed on me in a while. I was doing as a wife does. And so all these things came up, and they were very hard to process. They were so hard to process. And you remember when I was saying how the fight or flight thing and how I wouldn't want to leave. I wanted to leave. It was so many different emotions happening at once, and it was hard to process. I did ask myself those questions, how does this make me feel? And I was just so hurt. I was sad. I was feeling very lonely. But at the beginning, they asked us, that we agree to stay, and I did. I'm going to stay, and I would. I know I would, but it was hard. I didn't want to fight. I just wanted to not be there. I just didn't want to deal with any of the feelings that came up. I cried a lot thinking about my dad again. Things that, I went 19 years almost before I could even talk about my dad. A lot of therapy happened. A lot of, I was super heavily depressive, suicidal depressive. And I've spoken about this a lot. So 2019 was a very transformative year for me because that was a year that I was definitely going to do it. I couldn't see it past that year. But I didn't, thank God. But that was when things really started to change for me. I took my healing seriously ever since then. And that doesn't mean that was the end of like my depression. I definitely can say that now. I might get super sad, but I just don't think I get depressed like I used to. But anyways, so my dad passed away in 2002, and I really thought I was done healing, but I realized healing is a continuous thing. And that night on that mattress, I begged for my father to come back. Like, I just like, please, I begged him. I begged the creator. I'm just like, I just bring him back. I'm like, help me. Do you want to help me or not? I'm like, bring him back. And I remember the thoughts of me laying on that mattress just saying like, I just want to be a kid. I just want to be a kid. I want to do kid things. I want to do adult things that I had to do when I was a kid. I don't want to deal with the things I had to deal with as a child. I just want to be held. I want to be loved, and I want to be cared for. That's all I want. And I realize now that I've attracted, not all, but I've attracted people that are totally fine with me giving everything and them not having to do much of anything. And that hasn't done anything but left me feeling empty. That's who I've become. I've become a people pleaser, and it may not seem that way, but I gave a lot of myself until I was nothing. And I wasn't the best wife all the time. I wasn't the best, friend, best mother, best sister, best daughter. Which I don't know if there's a best. We're all working at our titles. Most of the time we don't even know who we are, and we just put on these different faces and things. Like, there's a book over here called The Actor Phenomenal Book, because we put on all these different roles for depending on who the person is in our life. So that night, no visions, no pinta, just a lot of hurt, a world of hurt. When I did poop though, so poop purge, they tell you to look for when you throw up. They ask you to look at it and ask what it is. So when I did poop, okay, I'm not gonna get into the description of it because it was different throughout the night. But when I looked at it and I asked, the first thing that came to me was despair and disease leaving my body. Whether I know exactly what the despair disease related to didn't matter to me, as long as that shit's not in me anymore. Okay, so oh yes, guys, the heart eventually won. I don't think I wrote this down. The heart eventually won, and I finally threw up. God, I was so thankful. And when I got it out, I remember just this overwhelming feeling in my heart saying, now you can rest. You got that out of you. I'm so proud of you. Now you can rest. And then I fell asleep, knocked the hell out. So, because I'm tired. They had been arguing all night, which is so funny because I grew up with my parents arguing, and it feels good to not be around that environment. So yeah, over about 1:32-ish in the morning, I just remember they called us to the center again to kind of talk about our night. I just remember sitting there zoned out. Like, I've been crying all night. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I'm trying to pay attention to, I think her name is Anita, or I'm not even gonna mess that up. I'm trying to pay attention to her, and I'm just zoned out, trying not to even think about the triggering male experience. And just like, this is so much. But I would say one thing that helps, I'm so glad that they asked people to share their experience throughout the night, because listening to people really made me feel connected. And it always felt like love when people shared. You really start to feel a super connected with everyone there, with the world, with the universe, with the creator, in these experiences, no matter what you go through. So I love the sharing, and they share in class as well. So before I go, I just remember the next day at breakfast, and they were like, I got up, I did my yoga, and at breakfast, and one of my now friends, they asked me how it was, and I was just like, it was so bad. Like, not bad, but like, and when I say something's bad, don't think like bad, because whether it's good or bad, it's a learning experience, and I'm thankful for it. But I'm like, it was hard, and I started ugly crying talking about my dad, and they just came over, swarmed me, hugged me, and loved me. The staff even asked you how your day was. They had these genuine smiles, and you can tell when people are faking it. Like, we know I work with the public. When people are faking and pretending, they truly cared. Like, they cared. So that was my first night introduction into ayahuasca. 2 cups overall. I'm very thankful for it. I don't think I have anything else. I went through all my notes and everything. I'm glad for all of it. I'm so glad for all of it. So day 2, I would say, day 2, I still sometimes think about night 2. Night 2. Night 2 is going deeper. This is a more masculine night, so I had 2 male shamans. And night 2 is gonna be a lot. I know it's gonna be a lot longer of a video, and a lot more prep of notes and things to make sure I gather everything, because I know I have not written down. I've written a lot, but I haven't written down. But yeah, I hope you guys hang around and come see me for night 2. I love if you do comment. I don't know if I ever plan on building this up. I have zero intention of becoming a content creator for YouTube. I've done content for my writing. I still do it very seldomly. Anything that makes me feel like I have to, I kind of stay away from. But I do love to talk. I randomly talk on my Instagram story, close friends, like a lot. And whether people respond or not, I just like to talk. So I don't know, maybe we'll see. But if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments so that I can reply. And if you think someone out there might be a little bit curious, even if they just want to be nosy, I don't care, send them the video. I wasn't looking for a single subscriber, so thanks to my friends that did. I love y'all very much, and that's all for my night 1 at Rythmia during the first ceremony. I love you all dearly, and I mean that. I love every single person dearly, and I know that might sound strange, but I love humanity. What the Creator has taught me, I can love humanity. Okay, so yeah, y'all have a great night. Now it's time for editing. Oh, look at this cute thing. That's so my vibe. Okay, bye.